I remember for MLK weekend, my commission went to Lake Tahoe, and we drove out to a snowfield and had a huge snowball fight, and I made a snowball the size of someone's head, and we got to take it back to the cabin, and we used that to make a snowman.
One of my favorite club memories is one day we went down to Fisherman's Wharf and we were doing a scavenger hunt, and one of the first items was to find the bushman and take a picture with him, which we did successfully, but then we kind of abandoned the scavenger hunt and just waited across the street and watched the bushman scare people the whole time, which was pretty fun.
Many years ago, 8th grade, some friends were already at club, and they invited me here, and it was for a Friday night. It was a dance night. I had a crush on this girl who went to Cameron House, and I brought a long stem rose for her, and I thought that was such a baller move, and it turned out to be the most embarrassing thing for her ever, also for me, but I did it, but I ended up staying.
It was the beginning of October. Our group had just decided that we wanted to put on a haunted house for Halloween. And so we had an overnight at Cameron House to make props and plan for the haunted house. And I specifically remember staying up really late with my club group. We were running around Cameron House with a video camera, filming videos for our haunted house storyline. And we just stayed up really late. We were having so much fun. And all in all, the haunted house was a success. And everyone in our group, all the club groups that went through it, had a lot of fun doing it.
I remember junior year, I came back one night, and it's been a while since I came back, and I remember my club leader, Tabby, she really welcomed me back, even though I haven't been there in so a couple of years actually. Yeah, and it was it's really nice. It made me feel really warm. The funny thing is even though you haven't come back, when you do, it feels like you never left.
Compassion is Cameron House's golden rule. Leave a place cleaner than you found it, because there are other people in this world and they need to use the spaces that we use. So I think that's something that Cameron House does really well and something that we can teach a lot of other people. And another time I was taught compassion was last summer when I was a coordinator for the 8th grade department. The 8th graders and the leaders just blew me away with how compassionate they were. They came up with 3 different projects to help homeless people and animals and recent immigrants. And I was just really impressed with how much they cared and how they rallied behind each other and supported each other to raise money and just come up with a solution for this problem.
The first person that comes to mind that leads with compassion is Lorene. And I remember just meeting her and I was like, wow, I've never met anybody this cool before. So that's the first thing that comes to mind. The second thing would be just the relationship that you have with one another in club. And how that has formed me and shaped me to wanting to serve my community here in San Francisco Chinatown. So I do that to this day, and the roots stem from Cameron House.
Cameron House has also taught me that it's important to broaden your scope of community by looking beyond what's immediately around you. So one of the most impactful volunteer projects I've ever participated in was going to New Orleans to help rebuild houses through Habitat for Humanity. We were able to meet the owner of the house, we were able to hear his story, and we really got a chance to get to know him and see things from his perspective.
Cameron House taught me to be a compassionate person through its programs like Light the Night, Food Pantry, and the Service and Learning Trip, where I got to help people in need and even hear about their stories and how they got to the position that they're in, which allowed me to really understand what they're going through and empathize with them.
I had a lot of mentors growing up, whether it's my tutors or just people around me that worked in the office, and I couldn't feel that they were very compassionate people. The reason why is whenever I felt uncomfortable, or there are times where I felt like I really needed a helping hand, they always came. That influence really got to me, and I knew that from the beginning of my middle school year I wanted to become a youth leader, because they talk about how we help kids and we have fun, and that's the best part about being a part of Cameron House, you have fun and you also get the sense of joy of being compassionate and being able to help others.